No, I got you on this one, Coach. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see. I love the fans like they part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Come rock with me. We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the fanatic, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate? Who the next one that's really gonna step up and be great? Yeah, the FANATTIC, the fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah, part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Part of my team. I love the fans like they part of my team. Yeah. Don't forget to smash that like button. Comment, subscribe, all that. The fanatic. Yeah.
Welcome into the Fan Addict, man. Sports channel for sports fans by sports fan, man. It's your boy, Coach I. Got my boy, Shawty. What's going on, Shawty?
What's happening, boss man? Happy to be in the house, man. A great win, great day for UGA, man. Let's go, man. All I can ask everybody out there: are you not entertained?
Them dogs putting on shows. Hey, man, just a quick thing. Y'all know how we do every Saturday. We go live, man, at 10 o'clock Eastern time, man. We will wrap up the day's college football as we watch the last slate of college football. Like right now, for those that don't know, man, Clemson is in a world of hurt, man. They just had a pick. Notre Dame just had a pick six. It's 28-0. Like Clemson ain't even on the board, bro. And Alabama's in a dog fight. They right down in the goal line, man. It's 14-9 LSU, but they look like they about to score. And Florida State is showing us that Miami ain't ready yet because it's 31-3. Gamecocks, they owning the Vandy right now, but it's 31-21, man. Let's start out with the big game of the day, man. Look at Shelby. Shit, my girl Shelby in the house. What's going on, Shelby? Go dogs, like y'all like Sean said, man. Hey, y'all not entertained, dog. These dogs putting on everybody on notice, man. Terrell, what's going on, Terrell? Terrell said Clemson is hot trash. Hey man, listen, man. It's like that, man. When you skating by some of these teams, man. Look at my guy Priest in the house. He said, "How about them fucking dogs, baby?"
I guess the ACC won't have no representative this year.
Hey, don't look like it, dog. Because TCU beat Texas Tech today to stay unbeaten,
They struggled a little
34-24.
bit though, coach.
They did. Texas Tech actually was up on them for a good bit of that game, and then in late in the third, fourth quarter, hey man, championship, hey, elite teams rise to the top. So hey, all that counts, like you say, W's and L's.
But I really think TCU is the team that really needs the most help because they really strengthen the chance of two SEC teams definitely getting in.
Well, this is what I had told. So I had told my guy Ben and Stat Guy. I said before this game, I said these two teams I felt was going to both be in the playoffs because I felt like whoever won the game, which I thought the Dogs would win, would go on to win the SEC, and the other one would only have one loss, and it'll be to the number one team in the nation. I
Right.
felt like TCU or Clemson would trip up. I actually thought it would be TCU, but TCU, even if TCU stays undefeated, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan, whichever one win that game, there's only two undefeated teams outside of the SEC. Now you got a one-loss Pac-12 team, a one-loss ACC team, and a one-loss Tennessee.
I'm
See
gonna tell you
how,
what
how that how
the
that can work?
ACC is definitely gonna be out
Yeah,
because the one loss, just comparing these two, the one loss Pac-12 team is gonna have the better loss. Granted, they lost by 40, but it was to the number one team in the nation.
that's what I'm saying. Shelby say Ohio State struggled for a while. That's right. We're gonna get to all these games. What's going on, Wallet? Hey, Wallet say ACC is trash, and he's a Miami fan, so he keeping it all the way 100 on it. So let's talk about some of these games, man. I'm just gonna go down the list and then we'll talk about some. So, like Shelby said, man, Ohio State beat Northwestern 21-7. They ain't pull off to late in the game too. Oregon, like you said, shouted they blew out Colorado
Hey,
49-10.
hey,
They be
coach.
putting up
Before,
40 points a game.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out, but before you go
Uh,
down your list, listen, man. Ohio State have to lose some votes.
They gonna have to. They gonna have to. I'm one that when for Georgia, I was telling people, man, honestly, we win all our games. I really don't care where we start in the rankings, where we go. We could be number two next week for all I care. If we win out, we'll be number one. You know what I'm saying? It's like at the end of the day. So Ohio State, like you said, Shot, they definitely gonna lose some votes today because they Northwestern had them. I want to say it was like 7-7 for a long time, and
Well, it was
then Ohio
7-7 at halftime.
and Michigan. I mean, speaking of at halftime of the Michigan game, it was 17-14 Rutgers. By the way, I mean, listen, everybody want to talk about the Dogs struggling against Missouri or whatever, but this the thing, man. You played ball, man. Your conference opponents know you because they play you every single year. So sometimes them dudes can give you a game when it's not expected. You know what I'm saying?
And then when you Michigan and Ohio State, you get everybody best shot.
Everybody best shot. So Shelby say Bo Nix look like a Heisman candidate. Hey man, what's really going on, Shelby? He not playing the dogs. I mean that's
Or
that's what it
or, or
is.
in the SEC period.
Or in the SEC, because we already know how that song and dance go, man. Terrell said, and struggling with a 1-7 Northwestern is terrible. That's right, Terrell. I mean, you got to take them things this late in the season, because what they try to do is explain away. For instance, let's take Oregon. They try to explain away that because we beat them first week. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the first week, whatever. Just like they explained away the Ohio State struggling with Notre Dame in the horseshoe the first week.
Well,
But
they should
now,
they
dog,
should have
we
worked their
9 games in.
scheduling out. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? They
we
should have
nine.
worked the scheduling out.
Yeah, we 9 games in now. Like you can't be saying, "Hey, man, this is one of them things." Like that's my guy B Shaw in the building, man. B Shaw said, "And the bad weather." That's right. We did Tennessee. Hey, it started to like really come down in the third quarter, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Shaw. I think the Rays saved Tennessee. We was about to run away with that thing because they couldn't really stop our offense.
Well, I tell you one thing, the inclement weather was definitely not in their favor. It didn't help them.
No, but
Because
the
balls were
whole
going
first,
through their hands, dropping balls. Granted, we fumbled, but
yeah, yeah, but the whole first half though was clear, and then all of a sudden it's just like the bottom just dropped out, dog. It's like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They just started running
bro, it was clear that they were just out, man, bro. That like
yeah,
we done that.
yeah,
The score doesn't even dictate how close that game was not.
exactly. And the crowd, shout out, like Shelby say, man, shout out to the crowd. I saw, Eric Ainge being the most famous volunteer, but other volunteer fans and faithful said playing in Sanford wasn't nothing. I'm like, man, I like y'all act like y'all ain't played between the hedges before. Sanford get loud, man. We
Right.
hit the decibels just like the other stadiums. And today they had 8 pre-snap penalties. 7 of those was false starts. Like, come on, bro. Like it's different when you playing in that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you pointed it out. I don't know if it was last Saturday or it was on our Tuesday stream. How Tennessee actually hadn't played but 2 hard games on the road, and it was Pitt and LSU.
You
And
just took the
LSU
words
was a
out of my mouth. All
LSU
they
was
all
a
they decent wins were at home.
and LSU was a noon game. You know what I'm saying? And we know LSU fans really don't even like noon games. They much rather just be at the crib. You know what I'm
So
saying?
most folks at noon.
Yes, that's right, Terrell. They are getting worked 28 to nothing in the fourth quarter, bro. Like I'm gonna be honest, dog. I definitely picked Clemson to win because I said that Notre Dame couldn't throw the ball, but apparently Clemson can't throw the ball either. And so what you think the problem is? It can't just be DJ, dog. It can't just be DJ.
Well, I always go to the trigger, man. But the thing I honestly think, man, I hate to say it, but their offensive line,
Not that
that's it.
good.
Bad, man. Very bad. Very bad. And you gotta have
Yeah.
them horses up front. That's their
You
problem.
do.
Their offensive line is bad, man.
And it's like if you don't have the offensive line, you got to have an elite passer. You know what I'm saying? And they had that with Trevor and Deshaun, but DJ is just ain't that. And then they outside threats ain't that.
So
They
you know,
outside threats don't scare nobody.
and DJ, like I hate to say it, but you know, his P's ain't adding up, coach. You know what I'm saying? His play, his potential and plays ain't adding up to him being cause he got all the tools.
He do like you said, the P, the productivity and the potential. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. So
It just ain't adding up. You can't
what's
keep making
going on?
excuses. You don't lost weight. You know, you year two, same off. I mean, like
What we doing? Exactly. Shout out to Hard Wild, man. Shawty been looking for you, dog. You ain't been back, man. It's all love, man. We know. Listen, we're gonna get to y'all, man. I'm not gonna go too hard on y'all. I know. Hey, I know it's been a rough one for you. Speaking of the Halls, man, Arkansas lost to Liberty at home, night 21-19. it's it's
mm,
it's it's rough out there. Like Shawty asked, man, is he the guy? Is he the guy? I
I,
mean, I said he was the guy to get y'all 9 wins, but this year it's not looking good, bro.
I, I tried. Hog Wild, man. Jack in, man. Get in, man. You know,
Hey,
it's all love, baby. Like I told you when you asked me what to expect moving forward, I told you more of the same. You know what I'm saying?
Kansas beat up on Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, Spencer Sanders is not 100%. He got injured a couple of weeks ago. And that's not good. Like you say, you gotta have a trigger man, and they do not have a trigger man without Spencer Sanders. They dropped 2 in a row now. They pretty much out of the
Yeah.
Big 12
And,
race.
and I was high on Okie State. You know, I
Me
was high
too.
on them.
Me too. Me too. They actually that offense was like something serious, and Spencer Sanders wasn't turning the ball over this year. But now without him, listen, without him, it's a wrap for them. I don't know, bro. They like I think I want to say they 6-3. That's
Something like
not
that.
good.
Yeah.
That's not good. Penn State, they blasted Indiana. I can't
State.
never make what you make of Penn State, Charlie. I mean, like sometimes they look good. They got athlete.
You know,
They
well,
got athlete.
I say this right here, like it. But see, I mean, they have athletes, but they don't have that depth. They like
Uh,
they right there on the cusp.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They knocking on the door, but it's like you 20, you got to be 21 to get in their club.
They right there at it. It's like they can't get over that hump, and it's like
Right.
and this NIL era might not help them either with people, not wanting to wait. Because, like you say, you got to have that depth. Like, I mean, Georgia, like, that's what a lot of the pundits ain't talking about. Georgia showing each year how much depth we have. You know what I'm saying? We just lost Nolan Smith. Then at half, except first half, we lose Robert Bill. We got Marvin Jones Jr., true freshman out there, probably ain't took one
So,
or two
do,
second string snaps.
do you remember that was one of the players I told you about in the spring?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the
Hey,
spring game,
yep.
he
And
stood
then
out to me.
and what you call it, JDJ went down with an injury, but he ended up
Yeah.
coming back in the game. I was like, please don't let JDJ, because JDJ, that long line of middle linebackers just know what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
So
Uh,
that question B is, you know, that's what I'm saying. So it's a question of like, even for us this year, it was like, are we rebuilding or we're reloading? Because that's what perennial play. I mean, you know, programs do. They reload. If you want to be Alabama, that's the that's the standard.
yeah, yeah, and that's what we had to do. We lost all the draft picks, but
We just reloaded. We ain't rebuilding. We reloaded.
and like you said, it don't matter how this cake getting baked, baby. As long as it's getting baked, it looked
Right.
different, but that defense still there. It
It
looked
tastes
different.
good. At one
it
point in
take
time, when I had when we was at the game, so at one point in time, I think it was a third quarter, like 6 minutes left. We had only given up 209 yards of offense.
in the first half, we only gave up 139 yards to Tennessee, and Henry Hooker didn't throw no touchdown passes today. Like, bro, like the defense showed out. Appreciate West Virginia in the Big 12 played good again, then lost to Iowa State. West Virginia, another one of them teams, man. It's like they come to play sometimes, and sometimes they
Yeah,
don't.
you don't
It's
never know
like
what you're gonna get. But
you
that's
don't.
that thing too. Their offensive line is atrocious.
Yeah,
Their
and
offensive line
JT
is atrocious.
and they outside weapons actually they ain't been consistent either. Like at the beginning of the first half of the year, JT putting them on the money. They catch it sometime, they drop it sometime. Today, I don't think JT played very good, but that's behind a bad offensive line too. So
But
I
to
mean,
get banged up for so long, your clock change, everything. Without
that's
him, they might not have one, but maybe one game.
you might be right about that. Terrell, we was gonna hit on that in that Clemson. I mean, in the Georgia game, man, having Carter back was huge. Good call, Terrell. We got another guest coming up in here. What's going on, stat guy?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, what a day for college football, you know what I'm saying?
That's right, baby. Hey, your Gamecocks is controlling the game right now.
Who
Hey,
they
and
got?
and that school up there in Country Town, Taterville, looking good. Hey, that makes that Ohio State win look that much better though.
it kind of does, but we know. Listen, man, we know who the cream of the crop is. I think that's Ohio State struggled today, but they still one of the four best teams in the nation, man. Let's keep
Yeah,
it real. We
yeah,
just their
100%.
their struggle just affects the rankings. That's all. I don't think it affects nobody's perception of whether or not they're good. But you're right. It makes the Notre Dame beating Clemson helps Ohio State a little bit, but it's kind of balanced out with the bad performance against Northwestern. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Hey, but end of the day, it's all about them W's and L's. You kind of forget
That's
about
it.
this ain't the best there anymore. Trying to hang 50 on everybody.
Alabama's up 15-14, but LSU is about to try to kick a field goal. The Gamecocks 38-21 pretty much got that one controlled in Nashville.
Hey, coach,
Uh,
let me ask you that.
yeah,
Had the team given up on Jimbo?
yeah. I think that. Listen, I'll be honest with you, Charlotte. I think that was why the kids were smoking in the locker room last week.
That's crazy, right? That's wild.
Dog, they didn't do that at home. Like I talked about this on another podcast last night, man. They did that in the visitors' locker room, which means they traveled with it, dog. Like that just say I ain't got no respect for my coach, like at all. Like, I ain't even trying to hide it, dog. Like, we all done stuff as youth, but we at least tried to hide it at one point. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, they just getting ridiculous now. I think right now they just said the hell with Jimbo. I think, hey, I saw something on Twitter, but it's fans or whatever. Somebody said the collective was talking about trying to get some money together to buy Jimbo out. They 3-6, dog.
Yeah, I
They are
get that,
three
but
and six.
Jimbo ain't going nowhere. Not with 80 million left.
Hey, let's see. Hall Wild say LSU coming to Fayetteville next week. I'm thinking about selling my tickets, folks. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. It's a tough economy out there. You might be able to get some LSU, but LSU fans might be looking to take over in Fayetteville, man.
Man, you might come out better putting them in a paper plane and throwing them out the window, man.
Yeah. So speaking of Jimbo, Florida beat A&M today, 41-24. Anthony Richardson in the
Ooh.
offense, dog. Yeah, dog. They was moving that ball like that defense wasn't even out there, dog. I mean, for real, for real. What? Listen, I get it. They ain't got no trigger man. But when everybody was healthy, they still didn't have no trigger man. I always say when people say, hey, like for years they said Jim Harbaugh didn't have no trigger man. They say now they saying Jimbo ain't got no trigger man. Who fault is that? Like you got to evaluate better, man. Like Haynes King, 5-star. You know what I'm saying? The dude, the little freshman that played last week, 5-star. Like you getting 5 stars. Apparently you can't stop. You gotta start looking at the stars and start evaluating
Bro,
tape.
his peas ain't adding up.
His fees ain't adding up. The productivity and it ain't adding up with the hype is what's going on.
All the potential ain't and the productivity ain't equaling. It ain't adding up.
That's right. That's right. So Auburn, Mississippi State was up on Auburn 21-0, 21-3 or something, but now it's 24-19. Mississippi State going into the fourth quarter in Starkville. How you feeling about the Starkville Bulldogs?
You talking to me or stat?
You. We play them next week.
Well, anytime a team has an explosive offense or offense that can score, to me, I mean it causes a concern. But once again, when people found out today, you got to be able to block us, man. And
You definitely got to be able
I
to.
don't think they're gonna be able to block us.
You're right. Terrell brings up a good point, and I was talking about this with my boy KC earlier, man. Alabama does play undisciplined. They really do on defense, dog. It's I don't know what's going on with the Alabama defense. They got the horses. They got the horses, shouted. That guy, you there with me or you on your way home? He was at work, so he might be in the Uber. You there with me, stat guy? Yeah, stat guy on his way Ubering home or something. Um, what you thinking about this Alabama defense, dog?
You know, mm, I don't know if it's necessarily just the defense, just as when you having all the penalties that they're having, like something ain't right, man. You know, like
That's
that's a
that's
lack of focus.
when they
Discipline.
played
All
Texas, they had 15 penalties. When they played Tennessee, they had 17 penalties, and they doing some of that same stuff tonight.
so I don't know if they getting coached too hard or maybe the defense is too too difficult. They may need to numb it down a little bit because something ain't right.
And that's what I say about defense and the wide receiver core. They wide receiver core, I actually thought it would be better. I mean, that's maybe I had too much hope for the guys, the Jimmys and Joes. I thought Burton would do a lot better in that system. The only person that's really thriving, well, of course, Bryce Young, but Jameer Gibbs. I think Jameer Gibbs he definitely benefited from the
Yeah, I mean
he def
he jumps off the he jumps off the film. Like you can
fact,
tell
fact.
he's a playmaker.
Yeah, yeah. Shelby say Bryce had been right since that last second. That's the championship game. Shelby, hey, I love it.
They don't have a problem blocking people too, man.
They are. He having to do a lot more running, and my boy KC pointed out. He said if Bryce don't run, they don't win. Like in the elite game, like he has
Right.
to run for those first downs. He can't always sit back there because of what you just said. The blocking just ain't there. This I don't know. Maybe on offense, Alabama fans ain't too high on Bill O'Brien anyway, but they hoping he goes somewhere. Michigan State, how about old Mel Tucker pulling the upset on Illinois?
That big.
That's big time. Like
He needed that.
what's funny is when I seen that I was watching the game show and I was thinking about you because you said that dude up there stealing money. I was like, this right here, he needed this win right here, dog. Like that's big time, dog.
Yeah. So he getting
Damn,
10 million a year.
bro. Florida State just
I think
scored.
his record might be the same as Jimbo, where he got 4 wins, 3, 4 wins.
Hey, both of them, they both robbing the bank, dog. They both getting 10 million a year,
Guaranteed money.
guaranteed. That's right, Shelby. You right. I'm watching it. I got it all on. Florida State just scored again. Listen, I did ask Florida State fans when I did the preview for this game who their top rival was, and cause in the rivalry game you can't really, you sometimes you gotta throw the records out. But Florida State fans say Florida they biggest rival.
I'll say
And
Florida. It's gonna be Florida or either Miami, but probably Florida. Cause
they said my
Gainesville and Jacksonville so close.
by 80% of the Florida fans
And
is not 90
Tallahassee.
said. Yep, said Florida was their biggest rival, and then Miami. But Miami's biggest rival is Florida State. You know what I'm saying? I was doing the game thinking, I guess we grew up with the whole Florida State Miami thing. So I was like, it's still a rivalry, but apparently the Florida State ain't as big as I thought it was. UNC in the ACC, UNC held on against a bad Virginia team, 31-28. This makes the if I'm not mistaken, they clinched the Coastal today.
Okay.
Yeah, and so Clemson's still gonna win the ACC Atlantic. You know what I'm saying? Unless they lose next week, which I don't think they're gonna do to Miami, and they'll play. It looks looking like a Clemson North Carolina. So
I,
you
I
got an offense that can score at will, but can't stop nobody against Clemson.
listen, man. I hate to say it, man. They in my rear view window at this point. Like if you can't get in the club, it don't even make no sense to me really
Talking about
looking for
we
you
ain't talking
standing
about
in line no
we
more.
ain't talking about the park. We ain't talking about the parking lot.
Right, what I'm saying? I hate to say it, cause once again, I ain't trying to, be high side and that, but I got other things to think about. I can't
We
do
got other
it.
things to think
Right.
about. Terrell, hey,
But
let me ask you, dog, what you think going on? Like, cause listen, I know a lot of other Clemson fans, man. They talk about DJ this, DJ that. Listen, man, DJ ain't the only problem up there in Clemson. Like that defense. I was one that said this defense, the front seven, was gonna be similar, not as good, but similar to them dogs in 2021. Even when healthy, they hadn't looked good. Not like that. They got the bodies, but like Shawty said. So Terrell, tell me what you think it is, dog. Even it like Shawty said, they P's ain't adding up. The potential ain't adding up with the productivity. You got Brian Brzee, Miles Murphy, Tyler Davis, Trent Simpson, who was a Simmons finalist for the Buckets Award, Barrett Carter. I mean, what's going on? The defense, come on, bro. It's something going on in Clemson, and I don't know what it is. So,
and I'm gonna be honest with you too, man. And this is just a real thing that people don't, take in consideration. Father Time is undefeated. That same stuff,
mm,
that same story, Dabo and Nick Saban selling, it might be played out.
mm. I ain't think about that, dog. Like, you know what's crazy is, and I always tell him he just a Gamecock fan, but Stat Guy said that Clemson after last year, this is at the beginning of last year, he said just the averaging numbers, man, you can't keep hitting on quarterbacks like you've been hitting on quarterbacks. Like every quarterback ain't gonna be great like that. And he said Clemson might be taking a turn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you have, every program, you have these arcs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I'm just saying, like, you gotta understand Dabo been at it like relevant for at least I'm gonna say 7 years, 8 years. That's a long run.
that's a
Same
long run,
thing with
dog.
Nick Saban, 10, 12 years, 11 years, however you want to look at it. But that's a long run. At some point, that sandwich star, it don't taste the same no more.
Oh, you
Cause,
might be on to something.
'cause you got this sandwich over here in the SEC, red and black. They put salt and pepper and mushrooms and you know
We just season it up different.
it's a little different twang to it. You know what I'm saying? These kid coming up to a new twang. You know what I'm saying? So, just speaking metaphorically, you know what I'm saying, just
Yeah.
joking around, but really, realistically, they don't have to run, folks.
That's right. Hey, even if they don't get back to where they was, that's a like you said, that's a run. So Terrell say it's on the offensive side of the ball, promoted in-house assistants not working. Hey Terrell, what's crazy is dog, one of my friends I went to high school with, she graduated from Clemson. She said the same thing. She said now it's time to maybe say that Brandon Street ain't a great play caller and look outside the program for somebody. He said, look how we look when we promoted Coley to play calls. Facts, facts, facts. You're right. I never like that, Terrell. I'm gonna be honest with you, dog. Don't even bring them memories up. So, Hard Wild say, how long will Ball's art be, Starty? How long? You got to clarify that one.
Who are balls?
Balls
Balls.
art be balls. Yeah, you gotta clarify that one for us. How while Tony Elliott and Brent Venables are gone. Facts. Oh. He said y'all. So
Listen.
how long
Oh,
were like the dogs? Talking about the dogs, you just brought up how Clemson and Saban been on such a run. Like he's saying, how long will our run be like that?
so one thing I would have to first ask the question is, when do you think it started?
Ooh, I think it started in 2017. To be honest with
So and I guess you can chime in how wild when you the time, but if we just go by coach estimation that it started at 2017, that give us 5 years currently speaking. And with the way
you. Yeah,
we've been recruiting, you got to give us another 3-4 years.
easy. Easy. Not the whole wild said when Kirby got hired. Dog, you can't count 2016 now. Cause we thought he would be good, but we didn't know, and we did lose the Vandy and Check in the first year. So that's why I say 2017 because Kirby made it to the mountaintop. We didn't win it all, but he made it to the championship. 2019, 2018, we was back in the SEC championship. 2019, we was back in the SEC championship. You know what I'm saying? It's
And,
like,
and Cole, I think we had 22 top recruits in the day.
dog, we some committed to other programs, by the way, and it was at least 13 5 stars in there.
We
So
working.
We working. All right, who we got in here? That was my guy. All right. What's going on, J. Lou? J. Lou from College Football with Jonathan Lewis, man. What's up, J. Lou?
What's going on? What's going on, Chad?
What's up, J. Lou?
Hey, them boys in the dog fight down there in the bayou.
Did you see what I put on Twitter?
I ain't had a chance to go back and look at it yet. What
I
you say?
put this is an unpopular opinion from a Bama fan, but Alabama's not a playoff team.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, you're not a playoff team. Like,
Well,
not can't win the championship, but not a playoff team.
If they lose this game, they for sure not a playoff.
Well, I don't think they're a playoff team. I don't think right now they should even be sixth. I think they should be behind TCU.
Ah, got you.
TCU got four. Now they got four ranked wins, top 25 wins. And I get it. They've been in a dogfight in a couple of them, but you can't deny because my justification is, well, Clemson hasn't been that good in a couple of years now, and they're getting the benefit of the doubt until tonight.
Oh yeah, they're getting that dog walked on them.
They get smoked.
It's 35-7. Hey, for those that ain't watching, I forgot to update y'all, man. It's 35-7 Notre Dame, man, with 2 minutes 52 seconds. Notre Dame tired of all the talk. My guy Priest say Shawty needs to go to Philosopher Parker from now on. Questions answering questions with depth.
Shout out PP.
Bro,
okay, so how Wild say his son, when the sun go to sleep, he can hop on with us. So
he don't want to see me tonight.
Challenge.
I don't care if we lose. Obviously, that I'm game, but I am that's pass interference. I'm so irritated that I put so much into Stan Pittman.
Why?
You know what I mean? Like I
don't know where he's selling, Coach.
Okay, no.
Listen.
I'm not saying championship caliber team now, or maybe even 3 or 4 years now. What I'm saying is, I get it. Liberty has Hugh Freeze. You don't lose to Liberty.
Right. You don't lose to Liberty.
You don't lose to Liberty.
You can struggle, but you can't like he struggled with Missouri State, but they won.
Exactly.
You can struggle, but you can't. See, that's the thing. What I say the same thing, Jonathan. Like, it's one thing to struggle with bad teams. It's another thing to lose to bad teams.
Exactly.
Because like Charlotte say, we count W's and L's. Struggle win is a W.
Yep.
But you lose, dog. Like, bro, that's on some other stuff right there.
And I'm not trying to downplay Liberty, but when you stack talent against talent, if you're playing in the SEC, you're at the top. I don't care if you're at Vanderbilt, you're still an SEC player. And Liberty does not have SEC. You know what I mean? They don't have that luxury.
Yeah,
that's why.
Wild say he agreed. He said we shouldn't even struggle. You're right. You shouldn't, because y'all should have owned the trenches against them. That should have been.
Have they quit on Sam Pittman?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think Hall down. Yeah. I think it's Jimmy's and Joe's too, though.
I believe
Liberty got better players than Arkansas.
Well, that's my point. That's why I'm saying you can't lose to Liberty. You can't lose to them because talent from top to bottom shouldn't be close.
It should. What's good, Wallace? Wallace checking in, man. Say go Dogs. Great win. That's right.
My bad.
Against the number one team. That's right. We wasn't the number one team. You right. We played the number one team.
You number one now. And Ohio State struggled the way they struggled.
Yeah, it ain't
definitely
no
number one.
We should be, but Jonathan, I was telling Shawty earlier, man. When you're in the SEC, man, and you're undefeated, if you just went out, everything could take care of itself, man. Undefeated. So going back and forth, like Tennessee fans was trying to, like in that AP poll after they beat Bama, they was trying to justify being number one because we was number one. I like, hey man, it don't really matter. Hey, it all will come out on the field. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny. So downplay Liberty.
Barry Odom as the defensive coordinator for Arkansas. That's what he say part of the problem. He say Barry Odom. Terrell say Barry Odom ain't it.
Listen,
there's a lot of problems up in Arkansas.
That's what I was saying. Fundamentally, what they trying to run, they don't have the personnel.
You're right.
That's what I say. Arkansas got problems fundamentally. You ain't even what you running. You can't run with you don't have enough beef up front. You're not athletic enough up front to be trying to run that.
That's exactly what Terrell said. Terrell said constantly rushing 3, but dropping 8. Dog, you gotta have some dogs in them trenches. You only gonna rush 3. And you ain't got them dogs. You
You
ain't got
know,
them Jimmy dogs.
you do that when you have Jordan Davis. You do that when you have that dude in the middle that's going to clog up what a catch.
Yeah,
Oh my
Harder.
gosh. You guys
bruh.
watching the Alabama LSU game?
I am. LSU just scored.
What a
Ooh,
catch, bro.
bruh. LSU out here. Listen, man, I tried to tell somebody, it wasn't you, Johnny, but I tried to tell somebody on Twitter. They asked me who I thought the best hire was in the offseason. I said it was Brian Kelly. And then after FSU beat him, they tried to come back at me. And I
Oh,
was
I was
like,
one of
listen,
those.
I'm just, no. You had a different reason. You don't like Brian Kelly for some off the field
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
as a person, I think his coaching is
Yeah. But
different. But yeah, I just don't
that's,
like him as a
I
person.
told him, I said, man, X's and O's, you're not about to sell me
I
on
don't think he's a
Napier.
good fit down there myself though.
I don't think you're a good fit, but when you talk about X's and O's, man, Brian Kelly know like
He's a
when
good
Brian
coach.
Kelly came to Athens, man, he know he was outmatched. He knew he was outmatched, but the way he called the game allowed him to stay in with the dogs. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's the kind of thing that Brian Kelly can do for you. You know what I'm saying? So uh Hall Wild say even dropping Liberty had wide open runs. Dropping eight. They were
Well, I
dropping
mean,
eight. Liberty still had wide open receivers.
there's a very simple explanation on that. When your defensive backs aren't used to doing passover coverage, or when they're doing the quarters coverage, passing off receivers, which means there's a lack of communication on the back end. Yeah, they're going to struggle, and that's
Yeah.
exactly, in my opinion, what's going on. You have, just like Chad said, you have the wrong personnel in this scheme. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, you're in a tough situation. Do you implement a system that doesn't favor what you're going to do long term, or do you eat the crow now, and then bring in the players that are going to transition that
Ooh.
system?
Yeah. Hall Wild say the scheme is flawed. He said Shawty right. The personnel don't fit the scheme. Hey man,
I,
like that's how I try. Listen,
I
man,
think
I
you can
coach
bring your scheme,
basketball.
but you got to be a little bit more maybe aggressive with it. You got to
More
tweak it.
versatile.
You got to tweak it a little bit. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you gotta as a coach, you gotta know that. You know what I'm saying? That's I think that's what Shawty was kind of alluding to too. Like with is Sam Pittman, the guy like Sam Pittman so young and his inexperienced in his head coaching career, it's like he don't even realize that. I used to tell people when I coach basketball, man, I used to tell people, man, like just because the press works sometimes don't mean everybody can run the press. Everybody can't run full court press unless you got guards that's dogs, dog.
Yeah.
You can't do what we do. Like I used to see teams try to do what we do. I'm like, you ain't got the guards we got, so you can't run the same scheme. That's it. You gotta
Yep.
have them players. And I think the great coaches know they players, know they personnel, and they know. Like I think when Todd Monken came to Georgia in 2020, he called what our personnel allowed him to call, and people
Yeah.
was like, "Well, I thought Todd Monken was gonna open it up." At the time, he ain't had the right personnel. You know what I'm saying? It's like little bit by little bit, though. We done got better personnel, and that's what's going on. Terrell say LSU turned it around when Brian Kelly turned Jalen Daniels loose. That could be true.
But
Jalen Daniels been playing good the last 4 games. Well,
now,
including tonight.
another guy that's being overlooked, you got to give credit to where it's due, man. Dan Lanning has only lost one game, and it's to
Mhm.
Georgia. He's the top of the Pac-12 right now.
Well,
Like,
I was watching a little bit of college game day, and during the game, they was talking about Bo Nix with some Heisman love.
I mean, if you go look at
Stop it.
look, I'm one.
Stop it.
I'm
I'm
telling you, I watched it like I saw it with my eyes. They lined up him and C.J. Stroud, bro. They lined up him and C.J. Stroud. I was like, if y'all don't
but
get out of here with this mess.
the thing about, you don't want my words on that. You already know how I feel about Bo Nix.
That's what I'm saying. Stop it, man. Stop it, man.
Listen, I'm just saying, don't shoot the messages, dog. I'm just telling you what I watched. Matter of fact, it was during our game, Sean. It was like I want to say it was like third or fourth quarter, dog. They showed the stats side by side, dog. I was like, if y'all don't get out of here. Look, Wallace know what I'm talking about. Wallace said he seen it too, dog. They put Bo Nix right side by side with CJ Stroud. I said, if y'all don't get this blasphemy off my TV.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You know what? I mean, with these numbers, why is he not a top 5 pick this year in the draft? If they're gonna
Bruh.
talk that stupid stuff, you might as well go all the way with it. If you're gonna
And
commit,
Shawty mentioned this when we opened up the show, like Priest said,
he
hey,
did.
hey, the difference is he not playing Georgia and he not playing in the SEC.
No, of course that is
We saw
different.
this song and dance before. You know what's crazy is though, I know y'all read or heard that he said they're a different team, and if they played Georgia today, the game would go different, and they would beat the Dogs.
Uh,
Hey man, this the thing. You talk the talk. You might get your chance to try to walk the walk.
it ain't gonna happen. They're not. Nobody from the Pac-12 is getting in. You don't lose 49-3.
So Pac-12 and the ACC out, J. Lou.
Yep. Now
Ooh.
let me correct myself.
Okay.
ACC's done. I don't know who would come out of the ACC. Clemson's about to get housed by Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's not that good of a
but they
team.
can still win the conference.
Yeah. So basically, you're gonna have an ACC championship, Clemson versus North Carolina, both be one loss team.
I'm sorry. Like Clemson has no strength of schedule to hold itself together. What is your argument for getting them in? The one team they played that was mediocre, Notre Dame, hosed them. Okay, they maybe beat NC State. Are you going to ride on we beat NC State? Are we really going to do this?
I think that's what they're going to try to do. I think they're going to try this because at the time of playing, NC State was ranked, Syracuse was ranked, and Wake Forest was ranked.
Yeah, and look
at the time they played them. You're right. Because Syracuse lost today to Pitt. Wake Forest and NC State played today. I don't know who. When I last checked, it was a tie game. I don't know who. Somebody out there watching that got that NC State score. Let us know what's going on with that game. Okay, so J. Lou. Go ahead, Shawty.
Well, I'm just saying, Clemson losing strengthens a chance of two SEC teams getting in.
That's right. So I think Terrell had he made a statement, but I think it's something that you could answer, J. Lou. He said, I can't find it, but he said, why is Bama struggling to stop the run? Here it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's very, in all honesty, this is not a huge surprise. In my opinion, Henry Toto is given too much credit for the middle. The man doesn't like to hit nobody. He typically, if you go and look at the numbers, he was our leading tackler last year, and I 100% agree with that. But the problem is when your average yards of contact is beyond 6 yards. In other words, when he makes contact with somebody, it's plus 6 yards in territory.
Wow.
In other words, he's not attacking gaps. If you're not attacking gaps, that means you are what?
You're getting blown off the ball, too.
You are getting, he's getting blown, but he's afraid to hit gaps. He's afraid to hit somebody, and I've been preaching that since last year. He's very tentative, right? It seems like he's almost playing injured. He's not injured, but he plays like he is injured. And I said that tonight to a couple people about Jamar Gibbs. This man not wanting to get hit. He's not stepping up in pass block, like very tentative, bro. And you ain't gonna win games being like that. But anyway,
he's your best playmaker, though.
Oh no, he is. And I don't want to see him
without question.
It's not even close. But what I'm alluding to here, Alabama this year is soft. Period. I don't care what anybody says.
I can agree with that.
A soft defense is not going to stop a run. Jaheim Otis is probably our biggest bright spot. I cannot believe he caught that on the defensive line. And he's a true freshman. Now, I like DJ Dell, but he's inconsistent. I like Byron Young. He's inconsistent. Will Anderson's been getting double and triple teamed all year. This man has almost nothing. And alluding to what
that
you
means
said,
somebody else should be making plays.
That's what I was about to allude to because, Coach out here said, like he said earlier, that means Dallas Turner should have better numbers. Will Anderson. But I don't know what's going on with that in that situation. And then you have Jalen Moody. We're kind of stuck in this linebacker position. Jalen Moody is a big linebacker that's not very fast east to west. Now, when he hits you, he hits you. He's like Reuben Foster style hitting. But the problem is he's a bigger linebacker, right? He's like a 2009 Alabama linebacker. But we also have Deontay Lawson, a C.J. Mosley style linebacker, but he's a true freshman. So it's like you're kind of stuck in this. And when you look at it, like the confusion in the secondary, the safeties in particular. Oh my gosh! How sorry.
Let me ask you this.
Right before you start, Shawty, just want to update y'all. NC State is winning 27-14 without their quarterback, by the way, against Wake Forest with 14 minutes to go.
That's trash.
Yeah, and I usually don't do this, man, but y'all hit that like button, man, on YouTube and Facebook, because what that does is that helps people find the show. Even though it's live, they can find it afterwards and see the comments. And I think we got a good group of subscribers and viewers, man. I like for people to get that content. Go ahead, Charlie.
Well, what I want to say is, we was talking about you guys' lack of physicality.
Yeah.
Could it have anything to do with you guys losing your all-time perennial strength and conditioning coach?
No, I think it. I'll be honest. Oh man, I'll be honest with you. I think it has a lot to do with Pete Golding just doesn't bring the energy on defense. Period. He's not what were you, Jeremy Pruitt, Kirby Smart, all these guys. What were they? They were in your face defense coordinators, jumping, yelling, screaming.
So was that strength and conditioning coach?
No, I know he was.
No.
So, well, when he was strength and conditioning,
when me and J. Lou first got friends, he said that Alabama's defense hadn't been the same since Kirby left. He said that it just hadn't been defense. The same.
Jeremy Pruitt is an amazing. Don't get me wrong, he was an amazing coach. Oh God, here we go. No pressure.
It is.
Record.
I know, right? 4th and 10.
He got it.
He got it. It's good. It's
Overtime.
good. It's good. Tie ball game. Alabama 24, LSU 24. 21 seconds to go in the game.
Wow.
How you like that? Hey, how you like that for prime time? You know what I'm saying? Speaking of updates, Auburn just scored a touchdown. It is now Tank Bigsby for 41 yards. It is now 25-24, barring an extra point. It'll make it 26-24. That's right.
Imagine if Tank Bigsby wasn't at Auburn and he would.
Imagine if he was in Athens, everybody thought he was going to be. He need to come on home. I know it, right?
When are you going to use him? You got like 16 running backs back there. You wrote name.
Hey, no, we'll find a way.
There you go. He'll get in the pecking order. We'll keep him fresh for the league.
We'll keep him fresh, dog. We'll find a way, dog. Matter of fact, speaking of, we trying to poach their running back commit for 2023, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Kirby say, hey man, it's all kind of confusion going down there on the plains. You might well come on after, man. Matter of fact, he was at the game today.
Yeah, no, I saw, and I tell you what, too.
Really?
Yeah, a big one to me. There's a big domino that fell to Alabama with Justin saying, obviously, who's talented. Him committing to Alabama, though, if you pay attention to what was going on in recruiting for the 24 cycle, him moving, obviously, or him, moving around doing what he does, it really told me one thing: Kirby is not going to let Vandegrift or Carson Bex, neither one of them are going to leave. I don't think there's a chance either one of them leaves now. His saying was almost a lock, in my opinion, to Georgia.
Well, what another thing that affected that, we got Ryan Pawlowski or whatever.
I know, but dude, him compared
same class. Listen, go watch the tape. Julian saying got a lot of hype from camp. Go watch Ryan tape. He just as good as Julian. He ain't as highly rated. He's a little bit taller. He can spin that thing, Jonathan. I'm trying to tell you now.
No, I believe you. Oh yeah, see LSU's dang.
I think Julian good. Don't get me wrong. I think Julian is good. I think he deserves all the praise. But I think Ryan is from up north. Up north. You know how it is.
I know.
Football don't get that. But I think that's one of the things that helped, because I think Julian wanted to be the guy. He didn't want to be one of the guys.
Yeah, I got you.
That's a great pickup for Nick, though. I had a feeling he was going to Bama because I think it was just Georgia and Bama. I really don't think nobody else.
It was Georgia, Bama, LSU. In my opinion, I honestly thought it was Georgia or LSU. I did, because I'm like Eli Holstein, Dylan Lonergan. We still have Ty Simpson, Jalen. I keep saying this over and over again. Jalen Miller is not the guy, but I say obviously Ty Simpson. I think his arm talent is incredible. I think his arm talent is super high on that. But then you look at Dylan Lonergan and Eli Holstein reminds me a lot of Tim Tebow. He needs a lot of work on mechanics, right? The potential is there, the ceiling's there. But then you look at Dylan Lonergan, who once again is a lot like Ty Simpson. He has the arm talent, everything else mixed in with it.
So who y'all gonna lose? Because all them dudes ain't staying back.
Jalen Milroe, if he does not move to another position, will transfer out. I 100% believe that. I do believe that Dylan Lonergan or Eli Holstein, one of those two will transfer or will decommit as well. I do believe we're not going to hold on to both of them. Not now. Not with Julian saying coming in.
I was about to say Julian saying the number one dude in his class. So
but you're going to have to admit, you're going to have a drop off no matter what. So you guys going to have to improve in some other areas to compensate.
It's final in South Bend, by the way. 35-14 Notre Dame fans rush the field, by the way. Like, listen, man. I had a couple followers on Twitter say that, like, after Tennessee beat Bama, they rushed the field. And they was like, when Tennessee comes to town, we're going to tear the hedges down. We're going to rush the field. I'm like, we don't rush the field, dog. We do
It's
this.
a regular season.
We do this.
Dog.
You know what I'm saying? We rushed the field one time for Tennessee, and it's because we hadn't beaten them in Athens in like 30 years, and that was back in like 2000. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't do that no more. This is hey, when you elite, you used to this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I don't blame Tennessee for rushing the field against us. We beat them 15 years in a row. I understand why you rushing the field.
Like, why is Notre Dame rushing the field against Clemson, though?
Notre Dame, well, you know why, in all honesty, is because Marcus Freeman and that team was catching a lot of heat, and they needed this win badly. This almost put the stamp on Marcus Freeman gets the pass for this year. Like, he did his job now beating Clemson this year. And they have a really good recruiting class that kind of like is moving forward. It's like, okay, we now have something to work off of. It's not just a good recruiting class with potential. Now we have quality wins with a recruiting class.
Facts. So who you think? You think TCU gonna hold on J. Lou to come out the Big 12?
I do.
Undefeated or just come out of there maybe one loss?
I don't see Texas maybe beats them. Maybe. Do I trust Quinn Ewers? Do I trust Texas to be consistent?
No. Yeah.
Okay. TCU's been consistent all season. I feel like their quarterback, what's his name, Duggan or whatever, he deserves more credit than what he's given.
Shout out to Priest Perry, man. Shout out. I know you got to go, dog. Because dog's on top. Wallace said they did it too because they beat the fourth-ranked team. But it's Notre Dame we're talking about, man. Like, you got rich in history. I think it's some of what Jay Lou said, man. They've been catching flack all season for not, because they came in again. I tried to tell Notre Dame fans in the season preview, man, like, look, first year coach, man, you know what I'm saying, new system, new scheme. You got to give these dudes time, man. Like, I was on the live last night, man. Dudes like, is it an overreaction that Oklahoma fans are ready to hit the panic button? I'm like, first of all, I'm not saying that Brent Venables is the guy, but it's his first year, and he's a totally different type of coach than Lincoln Riley. Not to mention, they lost like
over their head though.
I think so, but I told him at the same time, the dude like 5-3. He went 6-3. He was 6-3 coming into the day.
Yeah, they lost today.
Yeah, so they're 6-4 now. But all he has to do is win 2 games, and they'll be 8-5 on the season. He lost like 20 people in the portal, and he ain't got no trigger man. So I'm like, I don't think he the guy. I'm just saying, like, you can't say you hitting the panic button because the dude ain't Lincoln Riley. He's a defensive guy. Like, you know, he got to take. It's a whole different scheme going on out there.
Yeah, it makes no sense. That's all I'm saying. Dude, what first-year head coach comes in and wins a national championship? Let's be at least semi-realistic here.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like, come on, bro. You know, Dan Lanning, like what they're doing is they looking at Dan Lanning, but like it's a totally different conference. I don't think the Pac-12 is as deep as the Big 12. The Big 12 has been way more competitive this year than the Pac-12.
No, look at the turmoil.
Lincoln Riley took, like Terrell said, Lincoln Riley took half the team. He did, and the best trigger man they had, and like, the staff, exactly.
Like it wasn't just, and you got to realize. That man's trying to change an entire culture that was set in place for how long with Lincoln Riley and Bob Stoops? That's another thing you got to consider. Like
I said, long term, I'm like, sorry, I don't think he's gonna, win no natties or nothing. But I could be wrong. But I'm just saying, like, you can't hit the panic button on dudes. You know what I'm saying? Just like that, go back to like you were saying, J. Lou with
I don't think he's a good fit, man.
But see, the thing is, he Oklahoma through and through. That's where he spent a lot of his time.
But you know what? Who else? You know who was Alabama through and through? Mike Shula.
You didn't take it to the mics, boy. Yeah, y'all went through a period of the mics, man. That wasn't a good time for Alabama.
It wasn't that. Franchione and Mike Price and
I
don't like talking about those days.
Yeah, it wasn't a good time, man.
Dan Lanning gonna be a great DC hire for somebody in 2 years.
Hey, Alabama's always got the car wash open.
Well, he's on Auburn's board to interview. They say they're willing to pay the buyout.
Who?
Dan Lanning.
That would be the
I talked to one of the
stupidest
dudes that
move.
work for. I talked to one of the dudes that work for On Three. Auburn's the Auburn On
What?
Three.
But what
He's
makes you want to do that though? What has he done to show you that you should do that?
I don't think
because
either
this
party
this is
benefit.
but see this is the my bad. My son said that when the dogs win, my son get extra time on the game on the Xbox. So he looking at me like,
Oh,
"Where my extra time at, Daddy?"
Oh,
But this is
he
the
on the
problem.
roll. He can't wait to Saturday
yeah,
night. Then
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, he loves Saturdays. He loves Saturdays. So, I think we all three of us talked about this at some point in the season. Like Kirby is putting pressure on people, and then Shawty, you said it last week. Even Josh Heupel putting pressure on people because he
Yes,
coming in winning early, and they think they gonna get that guy, and they think Dan Lannon is
that's
one of these
interference.
Nick Saban, Kirby Smart disciples that can get it done. I'm not saying he can. I'm like you, Shawty. He gonna make somebody a good DC soon.
I think he has a long leash at Oregon now.
He does, and I wouldn't leave Oregon to go to Auburn because for one, I don't want to take on that headache of
No,
trying to win in the SEC where
dog.
I can just win where I'm
and
at
bro,
with Nike.
they administration is just all over the place. Like, no way I would go to that firestorm.
You
Think,
right, and you said it. It starts from the top down. Like Oregon in sync. The president, what's his name from
Boosters,
Nike?
Phil
administration,
Every,
Knight,
all them
Phil
folks.
Knight, and all
yeah,
those
Phil
guys.
Knight. Yeah, they all in sync. Like I ain't leaving that.
And you
Like
got an
nah, bro.
easier path.
Facts. Facts. Like, I mean, I hope that and Dan Lannon's a Midwest guy, so we'll see. They said I think the guy told me Dan Lannon, Lane Kiffin, and Hugh Freeze was the top three candidates. I think Lane Kiffin the next guy in Alabama. I've been saying that for 2 years, but
Terrell
yeah,
Bynes has a good point on the
yep.
comment section. It's way
He
it
said it's way
is.
easier to recruit. It is because he don't have to battle Kirby. For the most part, you
Yep.
ain't got to battle Kirby in there. And then California got a lot of good players, dog. You could really just you and Lincoln Riley. This is the only person you battling for.
Look
Well,
here, man.
except when it comes to quarterbacks,
If,
and Alabama and Georgia and Clemson take them.
Yeah, then we can take them. Yeah.
if we winning, we got Nike behind us, and we got the beach, the West Coast. Come on, folks. What I'm gonna go to the South and the Georgia dirt for?
I just don't think.
In Auburn.
Yeah, in the plains.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
mean,
either
Auburn,
one
I'm sorry.
benefit. He doesn't. Neither one of them benefit because you know for a fact Dan Lannon is going to get murdered, bro, when he gets to Auburn by everybody he plays almost, and then you going to have the fact that Auburn is once again going to have to pay buyouts.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Again,
they're paying
you're right.
Gus Malzahn, and now they're paying, obviously
Brian
Brian
Harston.
Harston. So like they just finished less than I think they said 2 months ago, finishing paying Gene Chizik. How many do you need?
Exactly. Wall State Liberty they did just give Freeze a contract. That's what I'm telling you though. Auburn say they ready to pay buyouts. They don't even care.
But listen, and all them coaches won none of their buyouts like Jimbo. That's why he ain't going.
Dog.
All of them together ain't like Jimbo.
Jimbo is gonna be coaching at Evers Elementary soon, dog.
Hey, it's like that. Look at Mississippi State. They down 25-24 with 3 minutes and 57 seconds to go. South Carolina is in a dog fight now. Bailey done made up some ground. It's 38-27, man. 4 minutes, 39 seconds ago. I think Shane Beamer gonna have to let go of his OC. I know that's his dog, but he gonna have to let him go.
I think South Carolina's got to release.
Yeah.
Shane
Isaiah
Beamer.
Washington, what's going on, my guy? He said we shut down Oregon and Tennessee. Enough said. Who is we, Isaiah? Us. Oh, you with us. My bad, Isaiah. The dogs, you right. We shut them both down.
Let's see what they're gonna
That's
make
what
on this
happened,
call.
man. All right, so we got pass interference under review in the LSU Alabama game.
I don't know why. I will say this. I don't know how much of the game you've been watching. There was a call earlier where we fumbled and they didn't get the ball because one of our players were the first ones to touch it when the ball went out of bounds. I didn't know that killed the play. That baffled me. Yes. And one of the reviewers knew it, and the other two commentators were like, what? So if you fumble the ball, let's say I fumbled the ball, right?
Okay.
And then when I fumbled it and I go out of bounds, let's say I fall out of bounds and I'm the first one to touch the ball, or I touch the ball while somebody hasn't recovered it yet, it's a dead play. And it's just
yeah.
fumbled
Because
out
you
of
already,
bounds.
yeah, because you out of bounds and you
I
touching
didn't
it
know
while
that.
you out of bounds.
Even though I haven't possessed it, I just touch it and it kills it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the referee's been all over the place this year. They was trying to help Tennessee. You know, we had a safety early in that game,
Did
Shawty.
you
I
see
mean,
some of the calls in our game? Gee,
Dog, that
bruh.
one.
I thought we was in Nashville.
No, guess what? The same
Knoxville,
the same staff
Yeah.
was the one against us.
God, that was
Same
right.
terrible.
Dog, I'm like, there's no way you review the fumble in the safety and not call it a safety, bro. Like the whole ball has to be out of the end zone,
Yes.
and only just like the seam of the front hip was out of the end zone. His whole body was on the ground, bro. I was like, here we go. But hey, dogs who did what they had to do, man. Me and Starter was talking when it first started, J. Lou. Who you think got that Oregon? I mean that Ohio State Michigan game coming up? Because the winner gonna win the big.
Well, Michigan is not look good against Rutgers today.
Well, speaking of, if anybody got that score, let
Ohio
me know.
State didn't look good either.
No, they look.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair though, that was like negative 10 degrees and 50-mile-an-hour winds. Like so, but no, you're right though. Like,
Rutgers was up 17-14 at halftime, but I don't know what that score is now, though. Let me see if I can find that. I'm pretty sure Michigan is handling business.
They weren't. Well, I don't know. When I saw it last, they weren't. But it's been a while since I looked at it. So.
Yeah, 52-17. See, that's what I'm saying.
Away with it. They ran away.
Yeah,
with it.
so Northwestern Ohio
You
State.
said that too, though, Coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's okay to struggle, but at some point, man, you got to do you, and that's what Michigan doing. Michigan struggled up until halftime. They have a 14 at halftime. They done put together 38 more points. Michigan say, okay, time to stop playing. What about the no calls and the pass interference? Yeah, hey,
Touchdown Alabama.
Aaron Smith, yeah, the dude was all on him, man. Aaron Smith, he was all on him. I could see them calling pass interference, man. But Aaron got to come up with that one, man. They hit him in the breadbasket, dog. But it's his first game really getting those deep passes like that. Kirby trying to work him in slow.
I don't want to hear it.
You got to, hey, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
And I do know this: Alabama once again on the road with more than 10 penalties.
Ooh, what?
Yeah, on the road, bro.
That's so un-Alabama like.
No
Well, 2 years,
discipline.
none.
What do you think that is, J. Lou? Me and Starter was talking about that for you, hot down. Why you think that? Because y'all had 15 in Texas against Texas, y'all had 17 against Tennessee, and y'all over 10 right now.
I think it has to do with, in all honesty, I think it's like a lack of leadership in the locker room. I don't think anybody on our offense is holding anybody accountable. I know people will want to say Bryce Young. Bryce Young, he's a great leader.
He don't seem very
does.
What about Will Anderson?
That's a defensive guy. That's a defensive guy. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, it's so easy to go Pete Golden, Bill O'Brien, blah blah. No, at some point, the coaches can't hold your hands anymore, and you have to be a big boy and just not have 10 false starts and offsides like we did against Texas A&M, or not Texas A&M, Tennessee. So we had 10 false starts or offsides against Tennessee. You can't excuse that. You can't go, well, those were iffy calls. No, those aren't iffy calls. Those are calls that were correctly made. You can argue.
Bill O'Brien fault?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not. Okay. I'm saying it's a lack of leadership in the locker room somewhere. Like, I think it all started, and I hate saying this, but I'm going to go with how I feel. Oh, my Lord, what a block on our defensive back. I don't know who got murdered on that one, but he got blown up by a wide receiver, and they just scored a touchdown. So
we used to have a lot of Terrell McGill, but we used to have a lot of penalties under Mark Richt sometimes that was unexplainable. And to be elite, you're right. You got to start having the penalties. Like, and at some point, you're right, J-Lo, you can't keep blaming the coach.
No, you can't. And let me tell you something, Bama fans love blaming two people, coaches and the refs. You hear that a lot. So everybody wants to blame Pete Golden or Bill O'Brien, but I'm going, who pays them?
Yeah.
If you complaining about the defense, then you need to be pointing fingers at Nick Saban too. Because he has a hand, he writes off on the defense.
What I say about that that sandwich might be getting stale. Folks tired of
Hey,
eating that same sandwich.
because
But
because Nick's had a 14-year run now.
15 going on 16.
Yeah, and Dabo like a 10-year run almost. It's like Charlie was saying, maybe that sandwich getting stale and
But
Kirby
how
in
many
there.
times have we heard this?
Yeah, we
How
done.
many times have we heard this? Let's be honest for a minute. In 2011, we heard it.
Father time undefeated.
You're right on that. You're right. But it's like I just don't see it because 2011 I heard it. 2014 we heard it. And then what was it 3 years ago?
Listen,
Texas.
I ain't
So let
saying
me-
they're gonna stop eating on the chewing and eating the sandwich. I'm just saying it don't taste as good no more. So
Hey,
I'm
so let me
saying,
ask you this, Jay. How you feel about next year, considering y'all gonna lose Bryce and Will Anderson?
Oh, it's gonna
hard
be
to
it's
replace
gonna be a
Bryce.
fun year next year. Let me tell you
Yeah.
something. It's gonna be a roller coaster next year.
The good thing is, Ole Miss. I don't know what they doing. I think y'all just always had a number outside of those couple of Hugh Freezes. But LSU is gonna be a team to worry about. Auburn is in
Oh yeah.
kind of disarray right now. I don't
Auburn,
think you got to worry about that. I don't think you don't
No.
never have to worry about Mississippi State.
We got their number.
Yeah, and then Arkansas, you ain't got to worry about them. So really, as long as y'all can beat LSU, even if it don't look the same.
It's like I said last year. Last year I was like, man, if we make it the SEC championship game, I'll be happy. I don't care about the playoffs. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
year it was we had enough coming back with Bryce Young and Will Anderson, Dallas Turner. I was like, okay, now it's a championship year, but they don't look like a championship team.
but Nick Saban said last year was the rebuilding year, and it was supposed to be the year.
No, last year was
That's what
not
he
supposed
said.
to be the year.
That
No,
was, I'm just talking about with Nick. No, that was Nick Saban said.
No,
Nick
he
Saban
can
said
say-
last
he
year
can-
was a rebuilding year, and y'all made it that far. But this year was
unbelievable.
supposed to be the year.
LSU goes for 2 and gets it.
Game time. LSU won.
Oh wow.
Now, if LSU wins out, they make it to the SEC championship.
Wow.
What's going on? Oh, they jumped on the guy.
Oh no, they pretty much going to make it no matter what because they already beat Ole Miss, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So
but
they're
the
gonna
thing
get Ole
is, though,
Miss
they got
to lose 2 more.
who was
games.
that? Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because they're one of their
Their other loss was a non-conference loss.
Exactly.
yeah, they only
Florida
had
State.
yeah.
They
So,
take first place in the SEC West.
So right now they're first place.
Yeah.
you're right. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Now,
It's like okay.
If Alabama beats Ole Miss, we'll need LSU to lose one more. No, because it's not. Yeah, we'll need them to lose one more game. So they'd have to lose a game. I don't know who they got left, but
They
dude,
would still had a tiebreaker head to head on y'all, right?
Yep. If it's two,
Yeah.
because they'll have
'cause
two.
we have 2
they'll-
SEC.
Yeah,
so
y'all need LSU to lose 2 more.
2 more, and that ain't gonna happen.
Because I don't even
Dude.
know who else on they because they got Texas A&M and
And we know Jimbo don't checked out.
Jimbo is waiting to get his.
Jimbo
check.
don't care, man. Jimbo, you right. He done checked as in financial. He done checked out. He don't care nothing about none of that stuff.
You know
So,
what sucks?
LSU got Arkansas and Texas A&M, and that's it.
And here comes the
They'd have to
message.
lose. They have to lose both of those.
Ty from Around the Table Sports. He's like, so we actually stink.
Arkansas is catching that L next week, so he said Hall Wild said y'all ain't got nothing to worry about. LSU gonna do them in Fayetteville.
Hey man, like I mean, I hope, but man, my tweet is very fortune telling. At the very beginning, before the season started, I said this would be the one time it would be disappointing if we didn't make the playoffs because I feel like this is a good team. And then go figure. Last year, I'm like, I don't care. Like last year, we can lose 2-3 games and I'll be fine with it. And we make the playoffs. It's like,
Yeah.
and go figure, man. Like Brian Kelly in year one, possibly going to win the SEC West.
Year one. That's what I tried to tell them. Year one, man. They don't want to. People don't want to listen.
Cole, that be going back to my point. I be saying, if I'm in the same conference, if they can do it, I get the same cut of the pie that you get. Why I gotta be complacent? He
Now
come in year 1 and 2 and make a change. Why I gotta be fine with you winning 9, 8, 9, 10 games? You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Wallace say so. We win the SEC. Tennessee got a chance. They definitely got a chance.
If Tennessee
Wallace,
wins out, they're going
Yeah.
to the playoffs.
I said that. Listen, I told Stat Guy that. I told my friends that before the game. Of course, I picked the Dogs to win, but I said it didn't matter. Listen, I felt like whoever won that game was going to be Alabama or win the SEC championship, and the other person was going to be in too, because their only loss would be to the number one team. And I
Now,
didn't feel like the ACC champion and the Big 12 champion was going to be unscathed. I just didn't believe it.
And I was saying Clemson just helped strengthen the chances of two teams in there.
Facts.
the
And like I said,
problem,
Oregon still has to play Utah, and if they make it past Utah, they got to play USC if USC hold on.
the problem you may see is if let's say TCU loses whatever, and let's say LSU runs the table, and I'm going to say this, I know it's not going to happen, but I'm just going to say it. If they beat Georgia, you're going to have a serious problem because you got a team with how many top 25 wins at that point?
Yeah. Hey.
You could have your very first.
I think, Shawty, was it you that first said something about 3 SEC teams?
I don't think I said 3.
Oh, okay. I think somebody said 3.
I said that.
I don't see 3. I'm just saying.
I said if Alabama wins out and they beat Georgia,
but it still have 2 SEC. They're just gonna, once again, you still have a chance of getting 2 SEC teams in.
So NC State 27, Wake Forest 21. 4 minutes to go. This
is so bad. I can't. You know what? I give Brian Kelly credit, man. That's a ballsy move. Go for 2 and win the game.
And this goes back. Terrell brought up something that I talked about. We all 3 of us was on here. I think it was a Saturday night podcast, and I said, "Well, what if we don't have no undefeated ACC and Big 12?" I said we could easily see 2 SEC teams versus 2 Big 10 teams in Ohio State and Michigan. What if they have an overtime battle, dog?
that ain't gonna happen.
Here's a hot take. If I'm Bryce Young, because his AC joint's still not healthy, I'm sitting out the rest of the season.
You Bryce, you gonna sit out?
Hey, your AC joint's not healthy?
Yeah, why not?
I'm saying it comes
time to look at the money.
Business decisions have to be made.
Time to look at that money.
Because
now they're playing for an Outback Bowl.
Hey, how about this? How about this though, Shawty? You know how we talk about when you beat a team, it's a good win, but then when that team you just beat lost, it hurt you. Tennessee beat Alabama, but they beat them at home. And now LSU done beat Alabama. That don't help Tennessee.
No, it doesn't.
You're right.
So I'm not saying, I still think it's a good shot that they get in, because again, I mean, hey, if TCU run the table,
I'm gonna go back to something you said earlier though, Coach. Even think about Oregon winning out. They only lost to the number 1 team. Now, granted, it was about 40 points, but it was, it was about the number one team. So I'm just talking about in terms of possibly getting 2 big, Big 10 teams in. Who lost? Who got the worst loss? I guess it'll come down to.
Because you might be right, because let's say Oregon runs the table, they're a 1-loss team, blowout from Georgia. Ohio State or Michigan, one of them will be undefeated, so they will be in. The SEC champion will be in. All right, shout out Terrell. Appreciate you joining us, dog. Showing the support, dog. We already know the ACC out of here. If TCU holds on, that 4th spot gonna be between Oregon and Tennessee.
Yeah, if TCU manages to win out. If TCU wins out, they're in no matter what. I believe.
That's what I'm saying. Like if they win out, they in. Ohio State, Michigan wins out, they in, because both of them undefeated.
Yeah, one of them will be.
Georgia wins out, they in. So now we got 3 undefeateds in. We got a 4th spot. We got a 1-loss. What we saying right now, anyway, a 1-loss Oregon team who won the Pac-12, who only lost was in Atlanta to Georgia, the number 1 team, or a 1-loss Tennessee team,
or 1-loss USC if they win the Pac-12, right?
Well, Oregon, or you can flip flop them.
So whoever
wins, whoever wins the Pac-12. So who you taking?
Now I would think I think Oregon would have the stronger argument. If USC wins it, I don't think their argument is as strong.
I think because then it's what Shaw just said. It's who got the best loss, because USC lost it to UCLA, and UCLA got drugged by Oregon. You know what I'm saying? It's like that daisy chain type thing.
I feel like it's a matchup too. I would have to consider matchup, because Oregon's already been drugged by Georgia, who's going to be in the playoffs. But
Okay.
has USC been drugged by, you know what I mean? Or not USC.
Yeah.
USC.
Yeah. Trojan.
So like,
yeah.
Trojan. So I feel like in Tennessee, okay, Tennessee lost to Georgia, Oregon's lost to Georgia, but USC has not had the chance to lose to Georgia yet. They have had the opportunity to stick their neck out and be, that person.
That's true.
Like
it's gonna be interesting because I mean, if USC wins it, who got the worst loss? What's UCLA ranked right now? 11, 12?
I thought
Like
it
if
was
US
worse than that.
like if 'cause I think because if USC wins it, their only loss will be to UCLA.
no,
Clemson's loss is to Notre Dame at Notre Dame. Clemson got more in that safety deposit box with the playoff division.
UCLA is 7-1. They're 12th.
Okay, well that's a better loss then. That's a better loss.
And what I'm looking at is, let's see here. Who does UCLA have left? I know they play USC.
UCLA got they already lost to Oregon. They play UCLA. They don't have to play unless they have to play Utah. I don't think they have any hard people left. Wallace say Tennessee strength of schedule is going to get them in because Tennessee have beaten a lot of ranked teams according to the AP poll.
No.
Like Florida was ranked when Tennessee beat them.
You know another team that nobody. Oh no, I'm not going to say that. That's who. They really they lost. No, they aren't. You know what? North Carolina still only has one loss.
Yeah, to Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but like,
well, that's that I think they locked up the Coastal today, and they'll play Clemson for the ACC championship. So Clemson falls to like 16 or something.
Clemson will fall to like 10 or 11. If they beat Wake Forest, who's ranked, and then they beat NC State, who's going to be ranked, and then Georgia Tech, and then they beat Clemson, you may have a serious argument for North Carolina because you look at their schedule. They lost to Notre Dame, though. See, okay, never mind. Their schedule.
They're going to be a bad loss.
It's a bad loss.
It's going to be a bad loss. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's. I think y'all hitting on it. I think it's going to come down to one loss teams. It's going to come down to who got the best loss. You know what I'm saying?
Because USC lost.
And right now, Oregon's loss is probably, even though they got blown out, Oregon probably got the case for the best loss.
I don't.
And you're a conference champion.
And you're a conference champion.
Yeah, and you're a conference champion. I feel like you losing by 1 to Utah isn't that bad because Utah did beat Florida.
So you saying UCLA might have some something
no,
to say about
No, I'm talking about USC.
USC. Okay, I got you.
But
it was in Utah. It was in Utah.
Here's what I think favors them the most. If they lose, okay, they lost to Utah by 1, and Utah beat Florida, right? So we got that under wraps. Then obviously, if they have to win out, which means they have to beat UCLA, who's going to be ranked 12. And they also have to beat Notre Dame, right? So and then they also have to beat Oregon.
Yeah,
I think USC is would be in over Tennessee. As much as, you know what I mean? Because they're going to have an argument of just as many top 25 wins. You guys already lost to Georgia, right? Yeah. Whereas we lost by 1 to Utah early, and we all know how this goes too. Recency bias, right? So who lost the earliest? So I mean, there's so much to come out of this.
It is.
But
my guy Priest.
Go ahead.
My guy Priest supposed to been going to bed, dog, or getting chilling with the fam. I guess the LSU fans hit him up. He had to get back in. He said 2 LSU fans said, "See you in Atlanta." He wanted to know our thoughts. Priest, just off top, I can tell you like this: Jaden Daniels has to be a runner for them to have a chance, and I don't see Kirby. I know we played a lot of running quarterbacks, and ain't none of them hurt with our legs. Kirby will go to not a stat box, but more guys in the box, at least 6, and make Daniels beat us in the air. I don't see them being able to beat us in the air. So I think the Dogs come out on top.
And I'm going to tell you what, LSU run a lot of man. They're going to have problems trying to man.
They're going to have problems, man. She loved that sandwich. I'm back now. That's what Priest said. He had to make his later sandwich, man. He said he back. Hard Wild say he think Tennessee and LSU are prime examples of that. Sam Pittman is not the guy for Arkansas. Hey,
bro.
man, listen. Be careful with that. Again, I don't think he's a national championship winning coach. But everybody, you can't compare everything to Josh Heupel. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Josh Heupel had a lot of success this year. I think they win 9, maybe 10 games next year. But listen,
Hey,
Hendon Hooker played 2 years in that season. I'm not as high on the 5-star quarterback they got as a lot of other people. I don't
I
think
am.
he.
I'm high on him.
I know you are, yeah. But they also gonna lose Jalen Hyatt is I want to say Jalen Hyatt is a
He'll
junior.
be gone. I'm high on potential in the ceiling. I don't think he's going to come out as a freshman and just tear it up. I think people have this misconception of what you're supposed to do as a freshman because you have these freaks out here that come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Occasionally, very rarely, they're the less than 1% as a freshman and do things that freshmen aren't supposed to do. I mean, Bryce Young didn't start as a freshman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And he's supposedly one of the smartest QBs to ever come out of high school.
Yeah.
So, like, you think about that. Like, he's
I
called
think
his
Brian Kelly can. We've seen him sustain success. I think the type of offense Tennessee runs gets them 8 wins a year. But
yeah.
they still got to play Bama unless things change when Texas, Oklahoma come in. They still got to play Bama. They still got to play Georgia every year. So
I look at the pattern too. So people want to talk about these flash pan teams. You talk about LSU with Joe Burrow, right? And that team was
yeah,
just stupidly talented. Like there was
right.
so much talent on that team, it was ridiculous. Same thing with Alabama. I say 2015, like that year with us. That was a flash pan team, in my opinion. And then you look at, oh my gosh, of course, I'm getting phone calls now from everybody. I knew this was coming. But
They Lou under the pressure.
oh, they already know how I am. You ain't gonna get underneath my skin. Like, if anything, I'm gonna get underneath their skin.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh, bro.
I ain't even checked my phone, dog. My phone probably broke. Oh Lord, what's going on?
Oh man.
Look, oh my!
Hang on.
I got Florida State fans asking me if I checked on my brother. My brother, if everybody know, he is a diehard Miami fan. But this is the thing, I'll tell y'all, man. My brother is a realistic Miami fan. He one of the people that said Miami needs to stop trying to bring back the youth and just try to make their own identity. You know what I'm saying? Because when they was the youth, they had different players, dog. Like you're not
Oh
gonna
yeah.
have them type players all at one time. Like for about 4 years, man, it's like they starting 22 all went to the league. Like you're not gonna replicate that, and I think they need to stop trying to do that. I think they need to do some of that. What Charlotte said, you put some of them guys on the staff just for recruiting purposes. Other than that, which they did have a big win this past week or last week, J. Lou, when they got Kamar and McLean. That was
This
last
past week.
this past week. That's like I think Crystal Ball is doing a good job recruiting. So
oh yeah, hell yeah, he's doing a good job recruiting.
yeah. So
you're right on that, and I believe a big part of that was him taking away that turnover chain. That affected a lot of people.
So one last topic before we get out of here, fellas. Coming into this weekend, they had all but crowned Hendon Hooker and or C.J. Stroud with the Heisman. Neither one of them had a good day, by the way. Even though CJ got a win. Who the front runner coming into this week? Shout it.
I'm gonna tell you like Stephen A. Smith say, it's fluid, baby. It's fluid. It changes week to week.
Listen, they need to start showing TCU's Max Duggan some love. What they need to start doing. The dude is balling. I don't think he'd have had a bad week yet.
No, not really.
This gonna be when I'm gonna tell you what. This particular Heisman show gonna probably have the lowest viewership of all time.
I can get with that. By the score update, Mississippi State just hit a field goal to tie it up 33-33 with 29 seconds left. About to have us another SEC overtime.
That is so. When you look, I think you have to start looking at Corum at Michigan too, because if you remove him from that Michigan team.
Oh, okay. So this is Priest talking about Miami. So Priest says he think the rules are different now. He said, "Shawty, was alumni players just out on the sideline giving advice during the game, or just just out there for TV? Like Miami, like Jason, they be having a lot of guys on the sideline. Are they out there helping, or they just out there for show?"
No, they definitely out there helping. You gotta understand our best receiver, number one leading receiver of all time, Terrence Edward, came on and shared a story with us about Corey Allen. He couldn't get off a press man during the Auburn game. Remember, the man was playing
Yep.
inside leverage on him, and he didn't know how to beat inside leverage on the slant. And Corey Allen, who was a great receiver at Georgia, who's on our panel as well, he happened to be on the sideline, and he shared some information in that game to help him be able to beat that coverage.
And I think N'Kobe was on the sideline today. You ain't telling me N'Kobe wasn't helping call out some of Tennessee plays and helping JDJ. I mean, JDJ had a couple of plays where I swear he was in the Tennessee huddle. I was like, this dude just knows everything. Wallace, hey, it is what it is, man. I Bennett got a little bit of Heisman love right before we struggled with Missouri, and we ain't heard
Touchdowns.
that. We
I'm
ain't
glad
heard,
that
yeah,
shit over with. I'm glad.
yeah.
I'm
I
glad
don't listen. He was feeling himself. I don't think he going. I think J. Lou hit on it. He ain't got enough touchdowns compared to the other quarterback.
I'm glad all
So
the tires flat on the bus. I'm glad ain't no more room on the. I'm glad it broke down all the band. I'm glad that shit over with.
exactly. So J. Lou, who you think gonna be the leader in the clubhouse for the Heisman this coming week?
I don't think anybody knows because you look at CJ Stroud had his chance. He has 76 total yards today. Something I mean, it was like just horrible. Bryce Young had his chance. Yeah, he only had. Did you guys see his stats?
I watched the game, but I didn't know it was that bad. God dang.
Let me bring it up. I think it was either 76 passing or 76 total. Hang on, let me bring it up real quick.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, against Northwestern?
Yeah. Like, hang on.
No, you
I'm
shouldn't
trying not
even
to laugh.
It was bad because he had to run the ball, and CJ Stroud don't like running the ball.
No,
He don't like running the ball at all. And he's slow too. I think he might check in about a 4.8 when he do the combine. That's not good. But he that guy with the arm, but look at Mississippi State trying to win in regulation and Auburn playing prevent defense.
CJ Stroud went 10 of 26 for 76 yards, 2.9 average per completion, zero touchdowns, zero interceptions.
Yeah, had Caleb Williams, so he's still out there, baby.
Caleb Williams is out there. Man, there is.
What that's like for 45% completion.
Bro, that's terrible. I watched Purdue's quarterback is real. He's supposed to be decent. This dude threw the ball 43 times for like 118 yards or something like that. I'm like, bro, yeah, he was like 20 for 43 for like 100 and like 18 or 20 yards or something. I was like, bro, at some point you should have just stopped throwing the ball.
Hey, coach, you got to be able to make the throws.
You got to be able to make the throws, baby. You got to be able to make the throws.
You can put anybody back there.
So I think the front runner is nobody cares because when you look at it, I mean, really, who stands out?
I know who the front runner gonna be.
Okay,
Blake Corum.
Yeah, it's in all honesty, at this point, it's hard to argue that because he's been the most consistent guy. If you look at it now in the country,
that's what I'm saying. More money dogs. What up? He said LSU got dragged at home by the Vols. Now I think they winning in ATL. Hey,
they're definitely not winning in Atlanta.
Listen, I don't use transitive properly a lot, but I just think the Dogs is better than LSU, to be honest with you. Just like I say, like Charlotte say, they play. It's not a good matchup for them. Let's just say that it's not a good. It's the scheme.
And they got discipline problems too, man.
Yeah. He said it was very, very windy and rainy in that game. Yes, but if you the Heisman favorite, you got to be able to get over that, dog. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Our defense played amazing. I guarantee you, Hendon Hooker had more than 76 yards passing. And he played a better defense, and it was raining all third quarter. So that's like when you a Heisman pick or Heisman favorite, you gotta be able to get through the elements, stuff like that. So,
well, I mean, you got exposed. Sorry,
yeah.
You got exposed too that most of the voters don't watch college football. Like
Well,
they don't
we
watch
know
it the
that.
way you should. So like
Yeah,
they're
no,
not
no.
going to care about it. They're just going to look at stats and be like, yeah, it's 76 yards.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sucks. You know.
It does.
Hey man, I appreciate y'all hopping on tonight, man. Everybody in the comments, appreciate y'all getting on. Don't forget to check in live with us on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Me and Charlotte along with the other dogs. Y'all don't go out there, check out J. Lou on college football with Jonathan Lewis on YouTube, man. And for J. Lou, Charlotte, I appreciate y'all dropping in here tonight. Hey man, it's been a real one. Them dogs is on top.
How wild? Keep your head up, baby.
Keep your
All
head up, Hot Wild. Get in with us next Saturday, dog. It's all love. We'll welcome you back in.
Me and you can cry together, bro.
All right.
All right, guys.